Hey guys, welcome to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to be having our review of Damnation and a Day by Cradle of Filth. Now Vile, what do you think of the album?
Well, I think we already know what I think, because I picked this album up last week when we were doing the First Impressions video. I chose this album because it's one of my favorite albums, I guess, of all time. Cradle of Filth is one of my favorite bands. They always have been. I love this band, and this is one of my top albums from this band. I just love this album front to end. I think it's such a well-made album. There's so much diversity in the music. It's like sometimes you'll put on an album from a band, and it might be a great album, but every song might kind of sound the same. You know, it might just blend in together. I feel like this has such a diverse array of, you know, sounds and riffs and beats and all that stuff that it really makes this album stand out to me. I mean, a lot of Cradle of Filth albums are like that. I think they're a very diverse band, especially because they've gone through, you know, several people in their lineups are always changing and things like that. So I think that helps them be diverse. But this album specifically just calls out to me. There's just certain things I love about it so much, like the female vocals on this album. Cradle of Filth is known for having a good female vocal. They do the operatic singing in the background. Certain songs like Present from the Poison Hearted has slight, you know, it's not prominent throughout the whole song, but the parts that it does happen, very, very nice touch. Mannequin, amazing female vocal in Mannequin. Again, she's just doing like some operatic stuff, which I'm not going to try to mimic right now, but you know, there's no words. She doesn't say any words other than the beginning. There's a little, I guess, like a soliloquy at the beginning, where she does say a few, like a little poem
just
kind of
says
thing.
Some stuff.
But I really love those things. I love Danny's voice is on point on this album. His screams are great. His growls are great. Promise of Fever has a great growl in it. I pointed that out to you when we listened to the album. That's actually one of the first things that got me hooked on this album, was that one growl. There's just so much I can talk about. The violin in Thank God for the Suffering. Such an amazing, such beautiful violin. It's not technical. It's not something that'll blow your mind when you listen to it, but it sounds so elegant. It's serene. It's just perfect. And for the song that it was, it's a mellow, like, calm song, but it's got so much emotion behind it. And I just felt like, you know, this whole album, every track on it hits a certain way, whether it's in your face, aggressive, raw, or it's, you know, just melodic and groovy, or, you know, whatever it is. Every song has its purpose, and it's just such a well-rounded album. And I don't really know what else good to say about it, so I'm just gonna hand it over to you. And this was your first impression.
Yeah,
this was his first time listening to the album. He listened to it all week, right?
Exactly.
He listened to it a bunch of times.
So, in compared to the first impression, this album grew on me like a wildfire.
Oh, really?
After my first impression, you know, I thought it was cool. I felt like it was getting a little bit stale the longer it went.
You did say you were getting tired. You were like a little tired and stuff like that.
A little bit worn out on it. But the more I came back to it, each song individually would light up in their own way, and I'd appreciate it more. So just every song on the album just lights up more and more, and then completes the constellation that is this album.
Exactly what happened.
Incredible. Just, you know, because at first, Promise of Fever was my favorite.
Yep.
And I still stand by that, it being my favorite, especially because of its build-up from Bruise Upon the Silent Moon. But there's so many, like Babylon AD, after you showed me the music video, I appreciated that song so much. The vibe that it gives perfectly coincides with the content of that music video, being creepy, eerie. I felt that the heartbeat was brilliant, and I loved how the bass drum, the guy's kick, was replicating that through the verses. I thought that was just so smart, and every time I hear it, it's just like, fuck, this is so smart.
Yeah.
So just so many, Doberman Pharaoh, Mannequin, Carrion, Serpent Tongue, Better the Rain in Hell, all these songs, they just grew so much on me. Just the energy, just everything about them was just incredible. Like, this album has a lot of content.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
And it's diverse, too.
Exactly.
Right? Like
There's
I said.
a lot of different sounds you can expect. Now, one thing interesting to note, you know, with the, I believe, 5 chill tracks, like the 5, you know, like the quieter tracks, transitional
just talking
tracks,
parts and just
kind of stuff like that.
Instrumental kind of
stuff that's kind of like the first track, you know?
Interlude tracks.
Those ones, at first we considered, is it a good idea to have so many to break it up? But I feel, after listening to it for a week, that it does a really good job at stringing it together. Because when it goes hard, it goes really hard.
Yeah.
So to have that at like an even kind of segment, you could say,
Yeah.
everything evenly dispersed, it's effective in making it so that it goes with energy and then off. Gives you breaks.
Like a breathe period.
Yeah, it's very effective at it. It's not too long, it's not too short, it's not abrupt. It flows perfectly. This album
I can agree with that.
is fucking great. So what would you like to rate this album?
Rating it right now? Well, you know what? I'm not even gonna waste my time. This album gets my toe tag. It's one of the reasons I picked it. I knew that, you know, before even going into this review, that this is, like I said, one of my favorite albums of all time. It's just such a solidly made album. Yeah, toe tag easily. And if I can add to that, it would be a 10 out of 10. Toe tag is anything from 8 to 10. This would be a 10 out of 10 for me. Perfect album. I think, you know, I mean, obviously if you don't like this genre, you might have a different opinion, but I think if you're a metalhead, if you like listening to metal, if you like this style of music or anything even remotely close to it, you got to give Damnation and A Day a chance. That's my opinion, so definite toe tag for me. What do you give this album?
Well, at first, you know, it really brought up a really high standard for me, especially because you were hyping it up so much.
I hyped it up a lot.
He hyped it up so much, and I think that was fair because of how great this album was. So much content, so much good content beginning to end. I give this album my toe tag.
Oh.
Meaning, this is the second album on our channel to receive 2 toe tags.
Yes. Nice.
A very prestigious title. This album's incredible. You guys should definitely check it out. Fans of Cradle of Filth, this is a perfect album. Non-fans, even non-metal fans, as you said, could get a kick out of this even.
I would actually like to know what fans of Cradle of Filth think of this album, because like I said, I mentioned in the last video, did I mention in the last video? I'm not sure, but fans of Cradle of Filth are kind of like, every time I talk to a Cradle fan, they're always like, oh, Dusk and Her Embrace, man, a principle of evil made flesh, like, and I'm like, you don't like Idiot? You don't like Cruelty and the Beast? You don't like Damnation and A Day? Come on! Like, I understand, like, after Damnation, Amphetamine came out, that's when their sound really changed. That's when they really went with, like, a really kind of rhythmic and softer sound. But before that, like, Damnation, woo! Midian, woo! Cruelty and the Beast, woo! But everybody I talk to is always like, nah, man, Dusk and Her Embrace is the best album. I got nothing against Dusk and Her Embrace, but come on, people. If you're a Cradle fan, just do this. Put a comment in below and let us know what your favorite Cradle of Filth album is. Doesn't matter what it is, just tell me what it is and why. Curious to know the reasons. But Damnation and A Day is at the top of the pile for me. And you know what? Not by much. Not by much. Because Midian, woo! Midian, I could have picked Midian. I could have picked Amphetamine.
Yeah, he was struggling for a while, thinking like, what do I want to get him to listen to first?
I just love Cradle. I just love Cradle.
Going around those few albums, thinking of what to do. But this, I still think, is a great album, especially for me to start on. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching. Remember to comment your favorite Cradle album.
Yes,
you know,
please.
like, subscribe, share us around. I'm TV Fish,
And I'm Wild Self.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Later.